Wow, it sounds like something out of Tiger King.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi guys, welcome to Law Media. Thank you for allowing us to serve you with truth, honesty, and perseverance. My name is Sunny, and I'll be your host today. Today we have our special guest, Attorney Phil Sheldon. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Sunny.
He is a family law and personal injury attorney out of Irvine, California.
True.
Yes, and today we have him here to talk with us a little bit about a very interesting case he had involving some chili.
I didn't eat the particular chili, but that's true. Those of you who are old enough to remember may remember the Wendy's chili finger case. And that was the one where a woman who's originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, found a piece of a finger in some Wendy's chili that she ordered in San Jose, California. It became a big deal. Wendy's got a lot of negative publicity, as you might imagine. People don't actually want fingers with their chili when they order it. So she filed a lawsuit, and they thought that the finger actually belonged to one of my clients. My client lived in Pahrump, Nevada, which is approximately 60 miles away from Nevada, from Las Vegas. And she, the client, raised a leopard on her property, believe it or not. She was in a rural area, had something like 17 dogs and one leopard. And the leopard's name was Tony. Tony the leopard. Should have been Tony the tiger, but I guess it applies.
Wow, it sounds like something out of Tiger King.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta love Nevada.
Oh, well, that part's great.
Yeah.
So in any event, she was finally releasing this leopard, who was getting large and dangerous, to a wild animal reserve in Wyoming. And while the woman was there waiting to take custody of the leopard, my client had her hand on the bar saying how social and how benign and how tame Tony was. And at that point in time, Tony bit off the tip of her finger. I'm not laughing about it. I mean, it was a serious injury and accident.
Right.
So at least Carol, who was from the Wild Animal Reserve,
yes,
knew enough to take the finger, put it down, and take a picture of it, documenting a wild animal bite.
Right.
So at that point in time, Wendy started advertising and offering rewards for people who had any information knowledge leading to whose finger this was, because they did their own internal investigations. Everybody had their fingers, all of their suppliers had their fingers, so it didn't happen in their chain of custody, so to speak. And Carol, she said, I bet it belongs to Sandy out in Pahrump, Nevada, because I actually had a piece of the finger. Sandy had taken the finger and actually was airlifted to Sunrise Hospital in Las Vegas because Pahrump wasn't capable of attaching a finger with a wild animal bite. So she had to get to a bigger venue, which is Las Vegas.
Right.
And when she got there, they looked, they said, no, it's jagged edges, it might be infected. We can't give you the finger back. So she, to put it this way, she gave the finger to Las Vegas and left it there. Thereafter, a couple weeks later is when this finger appeared, a finger appeared in the chili. And Carol wanted the $100,000 reward, said, I bet this belongs to Sandy, that it's her finger. Long story short, turns out it wasn't her finger. It was the finger of Anna Ayala, who was the plaintiff in that case. It was the finger that belonged to her husband's co-worker, who lost his finger in an industrial accident. And for $50, he put the finger in a bag and he gave it to her husband. They then took this finger 500 miles away to San Jose, planted it in the chili, and said, oh, look, I found a finger in my chili. And I was on national television, I was on a lot of newspapers, a lot of radio advertising, so it was interesting.
Wow. So do you think that, given the idea that somebody could get like this huge payout from like some kind of like scam or fraud that people could like come up with? I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things that people come up with, but I mean, that's something that's like so far-fetched.
I know, you would never think of that. Apparently she had made another claim similar to that with, I think, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, okay, so they found that in her past.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is she was sentenced to 9 years in prison.
Wow.
Because Wendy's lost about $2.5 million, and they estimated. And and her husband got some time in jail as well. So. Got
it. Okay, so do you think that when people do bring personal injury claims generally, I mean, obviously the insurance companies in the defense side, they do want to always kind of come to, you know, and say that like there is, I mean, they do want to say in many cases that the plaintiff is maybe being dishonest about their injuries sometimes because of these things that do happen.
Absolutely.
Do you think it does maybe give legitimately injured plaintiffs a bad rap?
Well said. That's exactly
Yeah.
right. There's a lot, not a lot. There's an amount of fraud that takes place within the personal injury venue. Oh, I slipped and fell and my back hurts, usually is the one you see, the slip and falls. And they have cameras that show what happened in most stores where this occurs. But unfortunately, it taints the what's the word I'm looking for? The ability of the legitimate plaintiff to collect funds that they're entitled to.
Right.
Because of the insurance adjuster's mindset that
Yeah.
I'll start out thinking it's not a valid claim and then you prove to me otherwise, as opposed to vice versa.
Right. And then also like just protecting the corporate interest.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, like we want to protect the good name of the corporation. So these types of cases are really, obviously, I would think a corporation would love this type of case because they can just say, oh, look, you know, they're just trying to smear our
Scam
good
us.
name. But
Right.
I think in light for a plaintiff, obviously it's really bad because it
is.
does a lot of damage to a truly injured person.
And the problem is in a lot of these injuries, and insurance companies are usually involved on the other side, they do not, like I say, they view this from a tainted perspective. They want you to prove up your damages beyond what is normally reasonable, and it makes it that much more difficult for people to get appropriate compensation. They're very happy to take your money to pay the premiums. They're extremely reluctant to pay out for legitimate claims, unfortunately, and that's why it pays to have a lawyer on their side.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you, Phil, so much. We appreciate you coming on our show. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Law Media Inc. Also to follow us on Law Media Inc. on Instagram and Facebook, and Law Media Social on Instagram. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.